Victor and Jack team up against a common foe, turning rivals into allies. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, are forming an unexpected alliance. Although they are rivals, they appear ready to collaborate with a shared objective. Here's a look at how the partnership between Jack and Victor might actually take shape. Victor and Jack are incompatible, and their rivalry dates back a long time. Currently, Victor and Jack can hardly tolerate being in the same space together. This is a feud that goes back many years. Even when Jack's father was alive, Victor didn't like him either. An encounter at society alone is sufficient to spoil the day for both Jack and Victor, which highlights the intensity of their rivalry that shows no signs of fading. However, they share one significant commonality: a strong desire to protect their families. This priority overshadows everything else for both Jack and Victor, paving the way for a potential truce in the upcoming episodes. This fall, Victor and Jack will consider forming an alliance. There will be some conversations about how Jack and Victor could collaborate on a mission that might serve both of their interests. Victor doesn't want Kane Ashby or anyone else to take his business away from him. Victor is categorically opposed to Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, or anyone else invading his family business. We will witness Victor taking measures to protect the Newman legacy, which might involve collaborating with Jack. Given that Jack is also interested in safeguarding Jabbo, he will be open to the prospect of a partnership with Victor. Given Jack and Victor's so-called deep-seated animosity, this will undoubtedly be difficult. They will have to deal with a lot of trust issues, but maybe they can just rely on each other enough to make this alliance work. How this partnership develops will be fascinating. It looks like Jack and Victor are going to keep working together, so it will be interesting to see how everything plays out. There's a chance for betrayal lurking ahead, yet it's equally possible that Victor and Jack will develop a deeper understanding of one another. The truce between Jack and Victor may actually last for some time if their efforts together are successful. Do you enjoy Victor and Jack's rivalry, or do you hope for some peace and harmony between them? Could this newfound alliance lead to a resolution of the Newman-Abbott conflict, or will it blow up in all their faces? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. The world of the Young and the Restless has always been driven by rivalries, family feuds, business wars, and deeply rooted animosities that span decades, generations, and legacies. Among all the rivalries that have defined the soap, none is as iconic or as intense as the ongoing battle between Victor Newman and Jack Abbott. These two men represent not just different families but entirely different philosophies about life, business, and personal loyalty. For years, their feud has fueled storylines, created unforgettable moments, and reminded viewers that in Genoa City, history is never forgotten and grudges are rarely laid to rest. However, the soap thrives on evolution and surprise twists, and in the latest development, spoilers and updates tease that Victor and Jack may be setting aside their animosity for a greater cause. They might use their firepower to attack a common foe that threatens both of their empires rather than plotting against one another. Victor Newman and Jack Abbott's possible alliance has the potential to be one of the most shocking story arcs in recent Young and the Restless history. For the first time, two men who can barely stand being in the same room will find that they need each other more than they ever thought they would. It is essential to re-examine the depth of their rivalry in order to comprehend the magnitude of such a shift. Victor Newman, the self-made titan of Newman Enterprises, is a man who thrives on control, discipline, and absolute loyalty. He has protected his family's legacy and business at any cost for decades. Jack Abbott, on the other hand, is the heir to John Abbott's legacy at Jabbo Cosmetics, a man who has always sought to prove that his family can stand toe-to-toe with Newman Enterprises without being swallowed up by Victor's domineering presence. From business sabotage to personal vendettas, from stolen lovers to corporate espionage, their history is marked by battles that have left scars not just on themselves but on their families. Victor regarded Jack as weak, spoiled, and arrogant, and he never liked John Abbott. Jack, for his part, has always resented Victor's condescension and ruthless tactics, seeing him as a man who hides behind the illusion of family values while betraying his loved ones whenever it suits his business interests. Their rivalry is generational, toxic, and deeply personal. However, just like in real life, nothing lasts forever, particularly animosity. When external threats loom large enough to destabilize everything they hold dear, even the most bitter adversaries can find common ground. That is precisely what seems to be unfolding in this storyline. The spoilers hint that a new enemy, possibly Kane Ashby, is moving into dangerous territory that threatens both Newman Enterprises and Jabot. In Genoa City, Kane has always been a bit of a wild card because he can reinvent himself, switch alliances, and use charm or ambition as he sees fit. However, both Victor and Jack will feel the tremors if Kane truly intends to undermine Jabot or disrupt Victor's empire. Jack and Victor will be forced to accept an unpleasant truth if Kane or another rival attempts a hostile takeover. Divided, they stand weaker; united, they might just be unstoppable. Neither of them tolerates interlopers threatening their businesses. The irony of this possible alliance is not lost on fans or on the characters themselves. Mistrust is a major source of strength for Victor and Jack. They see the worst in each other because they are natural opposites. A chance encounter at society is enough to ruin both their days, their simmering hatred palpable in every glare and cutting remark. But what defines them more deeply than their hatred is their love for their families and their determination to protect their legacies. Victor is fiercely protective of the Newman brand and of ensuring that his children and grandchildren remain rooted in the company he built from scratch. Jack, too, is devoted to safeguarding Jabot and ensuring that the Abbott family name continues to shine as a beacon of legacy and accomplishment. Their shared obsession with family protection, ironically, is what may allow them to forge a truce. Even adversaries can find themselves at the same table if cooperating prevents outsiders like Kane from destroying everything they've worked so hard to build. Of course, this alliance will not come easily. Neither man freely gives trust, and trust between them is as foreign as a foreign language. They will have to deal with heated exchanges, vicious insults disguised as reluctant concessions, and never-ending second-guessing. Both will be waiting for the other to make a wrong move. Both will suspect betrayal at every turn, and both will remind themselves daily why they despise one another. But beneath all of that animosity lies a grudging respect. As much as Victor dislikes Jack, he knows Jack is intelligent, resourceful, and unyielding. As much as Jack hates Victor's manipulative tactics, he cannot deny that Victor is a master strategist who has survived countless battles and come out stronger. Because to acknowledge respect would be to concede defeat, they will need to acknowledge these strengths without explicitly admitting them in order to collaborate. The question of what this possible partnership might become makes it even more fascinating. Alliances in soap operas rarely last. Rather, they are like powder kegs that are ready for betrayal, heartbreak, or an unexpected turn. There is every chance that this partnership could implode spectacularly, leading to even greater animosity once the dust settles. Jack might realize that Victor was using him as a pawn in a larger scheme, or Victor might accuse Jack of undermining him. The repercussions could rekindle their rivalry to a greater degree than ever before. But on the other hand, this storyline also holds the possibility of something truly groundbreaking. What if Jack and Victor find that working together brings them a deeper understanding of one another? Could decades of bitterness give way, at least temporarily, to a recognition that they are more alike than they'd care to admit? In the end, family comes first for both men, who are patriarchs who are motivated by a need to exert control. In another world, under different circumstances, perhaps they might even have been friends. Genoa City's landscape could be altered if the writers decide to investigate how long this truce lasts. The Newman-Abbott feud has long been a defining feature of the soap, and to see the two most powerful men unite, even for a short while, would send shockwaves through every storyline. Their families would react with disbelief, suspicion, or outright anger. Nikki might worry that Victor is compromising himself by working with Jack. Ashley would certainly distrust Victor's motives. The younger generations, Summer, Kyle, Nick, Victoria, and Adam, would find themselves caught in the middle, uncertain of how this truce might affect their own lives and business ambitions. And then, of course, there is the ever-present question of betrayal. Viewers know it is only a matter of time before one of them crosses a line. The only real question is who will strike first, and whether the fallout will be worth the brief moment of unity. From a storytelling perspective, the brilliance of this arc lies in its unpredictability. Fans are used to Jack and Victor sniping at each other, undermining each other's companies, and exchanging insults that cut like knives. To see them shake hands and stand side by side will feel like the soap has entered uncharted territory. Fans will debate whether they prefer the traditional rivalry or prefer to see them cooperate against a new threat. Is this truce a sign of development and growth, or is it just a preparation for a bigger betrayal in the future? These questions ensure that the storyline will remain gripping, because the answer could change week to week as new twists unfold. Ultimately, the heart of the matter is whether Victor and Jack can move past decades of hatred long enough to see that they need each other in this moment. Whether it is Kane Ashby threatening their businesses, or another adversary waiting in the shadows, the stakes are too high for them to allow their egos to destroy everything they've worked for. If they succeed, they may even find themselves redefining their legacy, not just as rivals, but as reluctant allies who proved that even the deepest wounds can be set aside when the survival of family and empire is on the line. Their collapse will be even more spectacular if they fail, adding drama to their rivalry for another generation. Whatever the outcome, the plot promises fireworks, heartbreak, betrayal, and the unpredictability of drama that has kept the young and the restless at the top of daytime television for decades. So, the question for the audience is whether we really want Victor and Jack to live in peace or whether we want the chaos that their rivalry brings. This alliance, fragile as it may be, could open doors to either outcome. It could restore trust between these two titans, if only for a short time, or it could destroy it. Whatever happens, one thing is certain. Genoa City will never be the same once Victor Newman and Jack Abbott stop aiming at each other and start aiming outward. Their story is about to evolve in ways no one could have predicted, and fans will be watching every second of it. Is Joshua Morrow moving on from Y&R? For decades, Joshua Morrow has been a key character on The Young and the Restless. The popular CBS soap star debuted in Genoa City as Nick Newman, the son of Victor and Nikki Newman, back in 1994 and has been a main character ever since. Because of how busy he has been working on Y&R, Morrow has only appeared in a handful of other projects over the years. The Young and the Restless actor announced this week that he is working on an exciting new project and urged fans to tune in on X, which was previously known as Twitter. It's not what you would think though. Big news from Joshua Morrow. Joshua Morrow took to social media and shared this exciting message with soap opera fans that follow him. Any football fans? I'm trying something new. My dream has always been sports. Working with my brother Lucas at Elsin Brief and weekly discussions of the Red River rivalry. Give a follow and listen if dig football. The star of the soap opera also shared a link to the first episode of the podcast, which included the following teaser. At Elsin Brief and at Joshua Morrow go over Week 1 for Texas and Oklahoma, what to expect from Arch Manning, and how to assess OU versus Michigan as a Texas fan. The Young and the Restless is not losing Morrow anytime soon. If you follow Morrow on social media, then you are probably familiar with his interest in sports. Sadly, there aren't a whole lot of daytime soap fans who also watch college football. But anything the talented actor touches seems to turn to gold, so we're sure it's only a matter of time before his sports show picks up. Josh Morrow's new passion project does not appear to have any impact on the production of The Young and the Restless or his daytime role as Nick Newman. Will you be checking out Morrow's new football commentaries? Please let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to check Celebrating the Soaps every day for updates on Young and the Restless. Victor's sharp mind dominates. Kane isn't an equal opponent. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, is the reigning champ. He always has a puncher's chance of knocking out any opponent in the ring, where he's the king, Genoa City, Wisconsin. But Billy Flynn's Kane Ashby holds a different viewpoint. He feels the powerful technology tool Arabesque developed, acclaimed artificial intelligence system, can take down any company in the world. Viewers wonder how it could be that Colin Atkinson's, Tristan Rogers' efforts to secure the fortune of a woman he romanced in the south of France, which is where the strange maze exists, also produced this futuristic weapon. Billy Abbott is a distant third. Jason Thompson's Billy Abbott wants Victor killed. If he succeeds, he believes he will be able to play Kane to accomplish this without losing or suffering devastating consequences. Thompson's character simply doesn't possess the acumen to achieve this weighty goal. He lacks the resources to ensure that every corner is secured before moving forward, And he also lacks access to substantial capital that would enable him to develop essential backup plans and procedures in the event that things do not go as planned. Billy's departure from Victor's long reign as GC's king and kingmaker is unthinkable. Viewers also can't see him wresting control of Chancellor from the so-called great man. Kane Ashby believes in the endgame. Kane is trying to have GC's players fight each other, while being off their collective games. Pitting Newman Enterprises against Jabbo is an easy play, and it's also one that likely happens. However, Victor and Jack Abbott's, Peter Bergman, mutual loathing of each other and coming battle won't necessarily mean they can't also fend off Kane's encroachment or attempts to seize their companies. There appears to be an out for Flynn's character. He has previously stated that if Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, makes amends with him, he will abandon his strategy. The former Aristotle Dumas could slither out of the Wisconsin maze he is creating without suffering many cuts if she even moves a few inches in that genuine direction, and Kane is encouraged. Victor Newman has it all, still. Victor has Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, at the ready. He alone is a weapon that can prevent any AI weapon from remaining in Kane's control. But even if Adam and Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, aren't capable of fully aiding Victor's attack, the moustache is cagey and always manages to find useful people to do his immoral bidding. Why and are without Victor as the deposed head of Newman Enterprises? Jack, the ousted leader of his family's cosmetics company. Billy defeating Victor decisively and succeeding Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, as head of Chancellor, with Courtney Hope's Sally Spectra succeeding Thompson as Abbott Communications' new leader. Kane takes every legacy company, possibly including Winters Incorporated, in a series of instantaneous digital victories, and all of the characters at those companies work for him. This is the most unbelievable scenario. Absurd, even during the day. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the young and the restless. Check back regularly for Y&R spoilers and news.